the question of your success or failure in a job interview is to a large extent out of your hands. That's what's wrong with job interviews, right? The reason we want to fix a job interview is we want to make it possible for success or failure to be in the hands of the interviewee. That it is an honest, we want to make it into an honest attempt to judge your abilities and your ability to kind of rise to the occasion. But the problem now with the job interview is you don't know what they want, right? That the whole process of selection is hidden behind all these unconscious doors and subject to so many hidden implicit biases. So it's a kind of, there isn't really good news apart from smile and look good and have a firm handshake and play by these incredibly dumb rules that govern too much of the interview process. When you don't do a kind of formal interviewing process, what you're doing is you are surrendering to the idiosyncrasies of the interviewer. So whatever it is the interviewer wants on a conscious or an unconscious level is going to be the criteria that matters, right? So, if you're, so sort of matching yourself to the kind of unconscious requirements of your interviewer is really important. And those people there are people who are very good at kind of, great salesmen are great at that game, at understanding what is it you are looking for in another person, right? What are you looking for in a car salesman, right? Do you want the fast talker? Do you want the reassuring uncle figure? Do you want the kind of very in the background, kind of shy, kind of, do you want to be bossed around or do you want to be kowtowed to? These are all kinds of things that one of my books, I spent a lot of time with great car salesmen, and it's really interesting. That's the game they play, right? You walk into the room and they immediately ask themselves the question, what kind of car salesman do you want? And I will be that person, right? So that's the kind of game that you're left being forced to play in a world where employers don't take the job interview seriously. I remember once when I was getting my first job at the Washington Post, my family's half West Indian, and I went into the job interview, and the recruiter for the Washington Post was a West Indian. So I was like, all right. And so I talked about West Indian literature the entire time. It wasn't even a sort of cynical thing. It was I was like 22 years old. I didn't really know what I was doing. But on some level, I understood, look, I had no experience as a journalist. I was 22. It was an utter long shot. I had no business being there. My only chance was to make this person feel like she was my best friend. So I was like, let's play it up. We're both West Indians. And you know what? It worked. I got the job, right? So, and by the way, that's outrageous. That's not what a job interview is supposed to be about. But, if they're gonna play the game that way, that's the way you have to respond.